Hey guys, it's Mike with another Guild of Guardians highlight video. Today we're taking a look at Phoenicia. Now Phoenicia is a Gen 1 character, so at this point in time you pretty much can only buy her, but potentially she could be available during some of those calling crystals and or altar sacrifices, things of that nature. But she is pretty hard to acquire, and there's not really an avenue short of purchasing her at this time. That could change. I am borrowing this Phoenicia from my wife's account, so I got her for a limited time only. I'll have to give her back. But I want to play around and see what her kit does, and hopefully provide some insight for you guys if you're thinking about making a purchase and what character you want to get. If we take a look at her skills, her ultimate abilities and AoE attack: Fly to the Phoenix. Phoenicia transforms into a phoenix and flies forward and back, dealing 230% of attack as magic damage to enemies in her path. She is immortal in her phoenix form, and enemies who are hit twice become dizzy for 3 seconds. So it kind of acts as a little bit of crowd control if she does happen to hit those enemies twice, and it does quite a bit of damage because she's going to hit 230, we're up to 270% of attack both times. So she can hit pretty hard in this form, and she's not taking damage. Her second ability is Feathered Fury. It's also an AoE attack. Phoenicia summons a phoenix spirit that soars towards enemies, dealing 200% of attack as magic damage, and creates an area of scorched ground. Enemies on scorched ground suffer 50% reduced healing effects. We've got that leveled up to 240%. Then she's got Blood Brood, which is a support. Phoenicia transforms 30% of her allies' current HP into a shield 3 times that amount. If the shield is less than 300% of Phoenicia's attack, they gain that instead. So if you build her with high attack, which you want to, 300% of her attack is basically the base amount of shield they're going to receive, or more depending on how much HP they have at any given time. And then that multiplier moves up all the way to 7 times when you get her maxed out. We're here at 5 times. And then her passive ability is Nest of Flames. At the start of battle, Phoenicia creates a zone of protection. Allies within the zone have 30% damage reduction. This is a really cool ability, especially when she's in the back row as a back row damage dealer. She's going to be adding protection to your Durizdas or your ranged attackers that basically just make them a little more durable, so you can put a little more attack on them. She is a Cinder Intelligence Imperial Mage. All of her attack is based on attack power, so we have her in attack boots, fully outfitted in tier 6 gear. We only have one that matches up on the Cinder Guardian here with those added stats, but we did also give her our attack bonus from Durizda's crossbow with an added 22.5%. So she should hit pretty hard. From there, we're going to go ahead and roll right into the Great Forge where we test her out. Alright, so we are into that first room. Typically, she's going to be in the back row, so I'm going to go ahead and move her back here. And we're going to take it off 2 times so we can see everything in action as it happens. So this is her area of protection. Everybody in here is going to receive 30% less damage. And then she's going to call out her Phoenix here. I don't even think she got to it. I think that was just her ability. So she actually turns into a Phoenix, flies forward and back. So hopefully we start the next one on her ultimate ability there. But that she hit really hard, killed everybody in 1 hit. So that was pretty impressive on that end. But let's go ahead and get this started and see. Yeah, there you go. Fly to the Phoenix. So she flies forward, she hits them all, and then she flies back, hits them all, but they all died. She missed this guy completely both times, which is kind of weird. I'm curious if that AoE attack is a linear attack or if that's fairly common. Alright, so we are into that third and final battle here. She has almost full health. She's doing awesome here as far as that goes. So we're going to go right into her Phoenix ability. She killed them all in the first hit. So she didn't even get a chance to come back. If she were to hit those characters twice, they would go into 3 seconds of dizziness, which is some great crowd control. But she had absolutely no problem getting through that. She is a Cinder, so she's neutral affinity. So that's something to keep in mind there. But as a character overall, I think she does a fantastic job. Definitely a great back row damage dealer, and also a great support champion in the sense that she's got that 30% damage reduction zone to help your team out. So if we jump out into the Token Trove, the current value of Phoenicia is about $204. I don't think I've seen her much lower than that. She has had a little bit of an uptick, and I have been gone the last few days out for work. So there might have been some opportunities to get her a little bit cheaper, but that seems to be her price. Overall, I think she's a fantastic Guardian, does a lot of work for you, especially in the back row damage dealer, as well as the support that we talked about, just helping out your other Guardians. If you look at the Warrior version of her, it's just a little bit more at 217, and then we have 3 of the champions in the game. They want $1,121 for her, and somehow the Elite is more expensive at $6,400. Apparently there's only 1 of those in the game, but 3 champions, so that's kind of interesting. But that's kind of goes to show as far as how rare those characters can be. Currently, you cannot pull Phoenicia in the game. Potentially, they could run her as an event, kind of like Tamamo, where you use calling crystals to summon her. Potentially. There hasn't been any conversation about bringing the Gen 1 Guardians back, but that's kind of, I believe, the reason they don't work with the cracked hearts, is they might enter into the game at later points in time. So, to the best of my knowledge, that's where that's at, but currently the only way to pick her up is to purchase her via the Token Trove. But as far as Phoenicia goes, she is definitely one of the top tier damage dealers. If you have her on your account, you're extremely lucky. She's going to be an asset to your team. She'll find a place in Arena and basically anywhere in the game. She's going to help you progress along. So I hope you found that interesting and pretty fun, entertaining. That is Phoenicia. I'm going to go ahead and get her stripped down and back over to my wife's account before I get in trouble. And we will look forward to seeing you next time.